What? Ow! I'm coming down! I'm coming down! There I am! First off, a bit of warning. This footage was recorded earlier, so I'm going to be doing post-it-happening recording, and this was done at a time when I was not exactly in the highest of spirits, so there's that. But without further of me mumbling around, welcome to Infinity Wars. This here is a game that has been taking over my life ever so slowly. Quite actually, it's possibly at the moment the game I play the most when I'm not recording for you guys or out and about in real life, I guess. This game was originally founded, or I guess first time I even saw it was in a Kickstarter campaign back in 2012, toward the end of it actually. The headline that caught me was Kickstarter, Animated Trading Card Game TCG, whatever we want to call it. It piqued my interest at the time, but also at the time I was dirt broke, so I couldn't exactly do much with that. But sure enough, the people that enjoyed this thing and had the funds to shed out for it, they helped it out. They asked for $5,000 and they got $17,000. It shows you quite a bit about how people took an interest to this. And to see the product now, as it is in closed beta, about to hit Steam relatively soon, it seems like a very nice thing to get for the trading card game people. I was a trading I was a trading card game fanatic for quite a bit. I'd stuck in a bit of Magic, I stuck in a little bit of Pokemon, I stuck a little bit in Yu-Gi-Oh too. Never tried Vanguard or Bakugan or whatever the other ones were, I think, but they all were something that piqued my interest, and Yu-Gi-Oh actually took up a good part of my life. One of my good friends to this day still plays Yu-Gi-Oh competitively. And he still puts a lot of money into it. Meh. And as I'm currently just sliding through this whole thing, I'm showing you a bit of what I have going on. Currently, it is, as I said, about to hit Steam, but at the moment of the recording right now, it is still in closed beta. And with closed beta, expect a couple of bugs, hiccups, or any of the sorts. I mean, they're still making the damn thing. But with that aside, it is quite astounding to me, at least, how polished the product is. They certainly put an emphasis on getting the mechanics down and make sure the game works on a mechanical level, instead of trying to make it look prettier or try to get a bigger player base. As you see, the chat system right there works, and a friend of mine, DHDYDB, shoutouts to you if you ever see this video, asked me about pre-orders, because in this game, at the moment, there is the Infestation set currently about to be released. He has saved up quite a bit of influence points, and he wants to know what he should do with them. And I tell him quite honestly, it's up to you. At the moment, if you have that much IP to spare, you want to get pre-orders, go for them. All pre-order packs come with platinum cards. They will have a nice little silver platinum-ish border around them, and that's the only way to get them. I also tell them, if you need packs now, go for them. You can get Rise packs or Core 2013 packs at the moment. Or if you want some legendaries in draft and willing to roll a couple of bad times, go play draft. Yes, the game has draft. It is at the moment a bit iffy, as the player base is small, so you will find yourself frequenting the same people, but it is a very nice thing to have, especially for a trading card game animated as such. But actually, I spend a lot of time right now just talking about what brought me into the game, but not about the game itself. I apologize for that. One of the things that got me into this game was its mechanics. Well, here I get it from my first opponent, Ada, and I immediately notice he's playing a Varroa deck. And he's using an Infestation card. Card not out, mind you, technically, but meh, that's my own little personal pet peeve. He's playing Varroa, a faction that is all about, from what my interpretation is, destruction. They are the most violent, and the faction that has the most destruction cards. Cards that are meant to wipe the field, and cards that benefit from the opponent's losing creatures. While mine is a faction of defense, or at least that's the way I sorted it out to. Descendants of the Dragons. They are the factions that, in my own terms, they put up an iron wall that can hold up against a lot of punishment, and as I have shown many times when I frequent streams and when I play against the people. Most notably Chesapeake's face. Haha. But aside from that, there's a couple of things you will notice. First is that the assault, the defense, and the support zone. When a creature is played, they are played into the support zone. Kind of like Magic the Gathering, they will have that exhausted thing, Summoner Sickness as they call it. It cannot be played to either zone. But different from it also is that some creatures will have haste and such. Actually, no, it's actually quite similar, but different to it is that there is an assault and defense zone. Zones designated to each one role that you want the creature to play. As well as on the left right there, as you will notice, a command slot. You can't exactly see the command text, but that's what it's meant to be. These are the creatures that determine what you can put in your deck. Each card, relatively, has a cost to it. As you see in the one I just pulled on the top left, it had a little green symbol next to it. This shows that it has that need of a purity for the deck, which means you need at least that many creatures of that faction in order for your deck to even exist. Since I have a triple purity DoD deck, Descent of the Dragons deck, my abbreviation for it, I allow my deck to come into existence. I can use anything from Descent of the Dragons and anything factionless. While Varroa, he has a full 3 purity Varroa deck, so I can expect him to use all the wonderful destruction spells that Varroa has. I'm actually forgetting what I'm supposed to be doing, saying in this part, because I had this whole script in my head, but I'm noticing how much it's falling apart. I'm just quickly going through, and he throws out a Varroa Death Worshipper. The unlimited characters, damage, and my Mythical Defender takes it. You see how mine have platinum borders, or a handful of them do, and his don't? That's an example of what the platinum cards are. I had to trade quite a bit for these, and in case you really are unsure, yes, this game has trading. I have encountered some new players that said they didn't know this game had trading, and it's a trading card game. It's kind of mandatory in some ways. But yes, my deck right now at the moment, it is what most people call a douche deck. Pardon the language, but it is a deck style that a lot of people have grown to hate. The turtle, the defense, put everything I can into the defense zone for me to win my own way. Because there are multiple ways to win in this game. There's standard HP, hit points, that's health, whatever. 100 out of 100, you see that for both of us. But there's also morale. Each creature, when they die, they have a morale cost. Such as the one I'm thinking about sniping right there, Wealthy Noble. It has a 10 morale cost. Which makes it so if that thing dies under any reason, he loses 10 morale. It is an interesting way of making it so you cannot be infinitely aggressive. You can lose in multiple ways, and DoD is currently the reigning king of alternate win conditions, as they have 2 alternate win conditions. The first one is that the location or field spell, as you would call it, and the second is my commander, Julin. He has that chapter 0, kind of like the astonished face right there. But that is actually my whole deck. He is what I built it around and what made this deck come to bright. I keep going back to that Varroa Hydra, trying to just understand its effect, because I still have never actually played against one. Seeing it with 15 morale cost really does scare me. Especially because the 1414 just up there, you could throw at any point in time. I really do debate quite a bit on how I am to handle that when it comes out. That's why I saved my Called Shot, the 5 resource card. And there he uses his Dark Wish, a 3 purity Varroa card. Quite a few effects, and he brings out a 16/16 flying creature. Right there, through my own routine, turn 7, get him out. I guess that's something I forgot to touch on, is resources. Every time you start up into a game, both players start with 1 resource. You can only play cards that have a 1 resource cost, as if you look at my hand, there's a bunch of 1s right there, then 2, then 5. And as every turn goes up, you get more. You do not get infinite, though, mind you. You will cap out at 10. That's why cards like there, such as Wealthy Noble, the 0/2 creature my opponent has, are so valuable. And that as long as he is there, he will gain 1 more resource. He has 1 more resource as long as it's there, which makes him hit the cap of 11. There are other ways to get over this, mind you, such as the trading post on the bottom right. You can sacrifice 9 resources, so that way you have another one next turn, which is really nice. And here, I really am debating. He has 2 fairly high priority targets for me that I have to get rid of, if they ever come out. And here I take a free hit. But I got 1 chapter on my Julin. The way he is a win condition is that as soon as he hits 6 chapters, I win. It's kind of cheap, yeah, but believe me, it's very hard to hit these days. A lot of people know about him, and a lot of people do not like him. That little ghost I put out that's floating right there, he is quite honestly, the only answer to flying that the DoD faction had, aside for Z, another character that you might see every now and then. It has the famous Death Touch ability that's known in Magic, I believe, in that if it deals combat damage to any creature, it dies. It's an instant kill effect. That's why it's so relatively weak. But you will also notice that I pushed it to the back of my force. This is because they will attack down the line. The order you put your creatures in really does make a difference, and he brought out Hydra. Here I buff everything up to make sure they can survive a bit. Recycle my card. Demon, go down. You can't hurt him. And then he gets Ruffle Stomped. And as you see, he got buffed. I got another ghost, so that's good, but I got one of my aces in the hole. First, I kill him, because I do not want to deal with that in any way, shape, or form. But, as I believe I might show here, I got an Agent Coil Immovable. A legendary card in the whole thing, from the Rise set. Vigilance makes it so he plays straight to the defense zone, no need to wait around the support zone. And he can only take 3 damage from anything. It really is a godsend for a faction this defensive, along with the other effect of if you pay 13, you have that luxury, you turn him into a flying 33rd Unstoppable Dragon. Unstoppable is an effect that, actually it's true to the name, just if it hits something and kills it, it will hit the next one in line. It'll really go through. Right now I'm just kind of looking through, trying to... I was actually going to say a bit more about this, but I'm running blank on that. He brings out more Death Worshippers, which shows me that he is heavily relying on that Hydra. His whole thing was about getting the Hydra to kill things, using his destruction spells, and then trying to get those things to be stronger. As you see, some have 6, and that's because of the creatures I have that have died. I keep on using Dowde as my commander to try and increase the maximum HP of all my creatures. This is another thing about another feature about picking your commanders. When you pick a commander for your deck, you have to keep in mind that their effects are going to be usable without having to play them. This brings it a bit more of a strategic element. I'm putting down an Invincible Defender right now because I do not want my coil to be wasted so fairly nilly like that. Here I'm showing off the trading post. To pay 3 to trade something, you can pay 5 to draw something, and you can pay 9 to increase your resources. I traded away and I got what I wanted, or what was nice, Dowdy's Protection. Increase the power of my line. And he played a Hellmouth, which is actually a fairly strong threat, despite what some players would actually have me say. In that it is a card that can constantly throw out 6/6 flying creatures, which, in case you guys have never played real TCGs that have the flying aspect to it, flying goes over things that are not flying. Makes me think of my Spirit right there, which I drew a very nice combo with. Spirit will Death Touch anything he wanted, no biggie. While Martyr Golem will take the hits for any creatures I control, all of them even. He can heal himself as well. So if I choose to play down both at the same time, I can create a sort of insta-kill line. But right now I choose to pay 9 for 1, because I'm relatively on the upper hand at the moment. And there's a card in my deck that will greatly help me in the situation, but at the moment there is not much I need that in terms of pressing danger. But if I get it, it will really make things a bit easier for me. As you see, I am now at 5 chapters. At this point, I think I have the game in the bag. I play out my field, or my location as it's called, to try and get him so everything in the fence zone takes 2 less damage. Yuan-Shi's Wrath makes everything take 4 on the field entirely, everything. And as I'm letting you guys see right there to read, pause, whatever, I'm about to win. I even make sure to use Yuan-Shi's Wrath as a little extra finish to it. His morale is incredibly low at the moment, so one Yuan-Shi's Wrath will wipe out everything. Him playing another Wealthy Noble ensures it, as they each have a 10 morale cost. And with that, I have moraled out my opponent. He had lost everything of his creatures, making his morale go to 0. He uses his effects, turns go out simultaneously, and with that, I have won my game. $500 XP to the victor, and 150 IP as well as a nice little icing on the cake. As a respectable, nice-ish player, I decided to post a GG on the global chat to let my opponent know that it was a good game and well fought. Sometimes it isn't, but you know, it's only respectful to say that. And that's really it. If you do want to join the game, right there, the universal invite code. Go ahead, sign up your account, and use that to gain beta access, assuming it's not on Steam already. Supposedly there's rewards for it, but for all I know, meh, I've never actually seen them. There ends my recording clip, and I thank you for your time. As you can tell, this was relatively unstructured. Never actually known how to actually get this video out to you guys. I thought a lot about making this. I've talked to a lot of people about even making it, but I never knew how to structure it or what would be the purpose of it. If I would display my matches, or if I would sort of open up an in-depth series, such as Drifter has with his Call of Duty things. Nor do I actually think I have the energy and time to do that, but it's all possibilities. I'm a huge fan of this game. I support it miles and miles away. I hope you guys get to playing it too. As I said before, you can use that invite code to get in. If I'm not even sure if they've actually fixed the bug or not. There was a bug at the time where it would give up a false error, but it will still bring you into the game immediate access. Nor do I actually know what sort of reward someone would get from inviting people, but it's just that. So I thank you all for your time. I wish you good luck and the best of days, and I'll see you all next time. Hopefully with video content that you are more used to, or, if you guys request it, more games from Infinity Wars. I certainly have a lot recorded, and they're hopefully going to be a lot more organized. See you then.